Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Business leaders are facing a slew of global economic and societal changes, all impacting the future of work and workers this year at a blistering pace. Deloitte just released its 2023 Global Human Capital Trends Report, titled New Fundamentals for a Boundaryless World, examining how leaders are managing these challenges and how their organizations can succeed. Joining us to discuss is Art Mazor. He's Deloitte's Global Human Capital Leader. Art, it is great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hey, Jill, thanks so much for having me today.
You got it. What are the biggest takeaways from the Deloitte 2023 report?
Top three. Today's business leaders have to learn to manage in what we're referring to as a boundaryless world, which means guiding their organizations on a variety of fronts, how to navigate the end of jobs, and how to guide the organization on harnessing worker agency. So top three, I think those are the biggest ones to take away.
So what exactly is a boundaryless world, and how do leaders address that?
Yeah, the implication is pretty significant. I think right now we're seeing the boundaries that have been once assumed and for a long, long time, that sort of ways of ordering things are falling away. In other words, we're having to traverse a landscape we're moving away from things that have long structured the workforce, like job descriptions and specific organization structures and working within silos. And it's really opening up permission to experiment, pilot, research, and innovate to meet these new fundamentals within the business world.
You had mentioned the term before, the end of jobs. What does that mean?
Yeah, it sounds scary, right? But really, this has been happening organically. And it's a movement away from traditional job descriptions that create these very harsh boundaries about what people do, to move more into the leveraging of skills. So defining work based on skills and using that as the basis for how people collaborate, and moving away from titles that are the sort of constrictors, if you will, of work, to places of work where we now see the operating of teams and collaboration around projects and getting things done to achieve outcomes. That really moves us away from this traditional mindset that a job defines who I am and what I do every day.
How do leaders address the hybrid versus in-office controversy? And is there a winning model?
Yeah, this is a tough one, right? It seems very black and white. Either you're in an office or a workplace, or you're working remotely. What we're finding from most of the large clients and small clients across every industry we are fortunate to work with is that this is about truly becoming hybrid and angling towards collaboration where and when it makes sense, digitally, in real time, asynchronously, and in person when those times get to be the most productive. Milestones, moments in projects, teams that come together to collaborate and to instill culture. That's all about coming together both physically and digitally.
So it kind of goes back to your point before, where it's not specific to your role function, but really your skill set, bringing that into the equation versus, okay, I'm a marketer, this is what I do, versus here's the project, and let's bring all of our best skills to the table.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think what we're finding is that teams have been doing this naturally in many ways. In fact, when we look at our Deloitte survey this year, only 19% of business executives and 23% of the workers themselves say that work is best structured through jobs. And the vast majority are saying, the ability to have flexibility around life and around the work that we're doing to bring the skills together, whether that be digitally or physically at the right moments, that's what empowers the teams and gives them worker agency.
All right, Art, interesting insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks so much, Jill.